Climate change is defined as a change in the distribution of weather patterns that lasts for a time period of decades to millions of years. Climate change can be caused by a number of factors such as variations in solar radiation received by Earth, volcanic eruptions, or plate tectonics. However, it is thought that human activities are the primary cause of ongoing climate change that is referred to as global warming. As humans continue to industrialize more and more, climate change becomes more rapid. According to NASA, the emission of gases into the atmosphere increases the greenhouse effect, which causes heat from the sun to remain in the Earth's atmosphere by being trapped in gas molecules, leading to warming of the temperature. Over the past 150 years, the level of carbon dioxide in Earth's atmosphere has increased by 120 ppm, and a large majority of this can be attributed to human activities such as burning of fossil fuels. Climate change is causing an increase in global surface temperature by zero point 0.6 to zero point 0.9 degrees Celsius, according to National Geography. The rise in temperatures have led to melting of ice polar caps, a rise in sea levels, species migration, and worst of all, endangerment and extinction. Recent research states that shallow water coral reefs have been cut in half within the upcoming decades, and there is an estimated 30% drop in the number of polar bears. On top of that, the Amazon rainforest has seen a loss of 20% in the past 50 years. The loss of species diversity not only causes an imbalance in ecosystems and food web, but also affects humans in terms of decline in health, food, medical supplies, and has high economic costs due to scarcity of resources. Existing policies to protect endangered species include Endangered Species Act and 2015 Paris Agreement. Efforts of wildlife conservation that protect land, such as Grand Canyon and Yellowstone, rarely exist to take into account species that live in the park, and it's mostly used to protect the beauty and tourism of the natural parks.
The issue of climate change is important, as many species that offer ecosystem services, such as pollination, population control of pests, and production of materials, can be negatively affected. The increase in global surface temperatures due to greenhouse gas emissions and inefficient energy usage poses a threat to biodiversity and resource availability. Decrease in biodiversity disrupts complex and important ecological interactions that, on a grand scale, affect humans and organizations around the world. For example, pollinators are greatly affected by climate change as changes in temperature have been shown to alter the seasonal behavior of plants. Altered seasonal behavior can lead to a decrease in pollinator efficiency and a decrease in plant species reproduction, which consequently leads to a decrease in food availability for other species in the food chain. On top of that, species loss leaves room for the invasion of unwanted parasitic and pest populations. One example of such an occurrence is the invasion by the star thistle of the Sacramento River Valley in California, which has resulted in annual spending of $16 to $56 million dollars in efforts to address the issue. The invasion of pest populations and food crops also poses a great threat to industries and businesses involved in agriculture and food processing, as such invasions can lead to a decrease in food production and availability. In addition, species endangerment of vultures due to climate change greatly increases the potential of pathogenic spreading throughout ecosystems and the surrounding environment, as vultures, in addition to other scavengers, contribute to the consumption of decomposing animal carcasses. Not only that, a decline in fresh water availability can affect power supplies, such as hydroelectric plants, as well as electricity production overall. A decline in fresh drinking water can lead to a decline in human populations in certain parts around the world, especially where drinking water is already scarce.
Climate change can lead to detrimental effects for the human population as well. Loss of clean drinking water, resources, and habitats are problems that both animals and humans are facing in different regions of the globe. Not only that, but in places like Sacramento Valley, invasive species have cost us more than $16 to $56 million. Such problems can be reversed and slowed down if we change our daily habits and push for political reform. People need to be more aware of the importance of different species and their contribution to the ecosystem and their life, and how they themselves can lead this change.
Some ways to reduce climate change and despeciation are by reducing fossil fuel emission, stopping the cutting down of rainforests for agriculture, housing, and paper products, keeping our environment clean, and using alternative energy sources. Adopting a sustainable lifestyle, using a means of transportation such as bicycles and hydropower cars, and reducing the use of plastic are ways the general public can do their own part. Though the United States is no longer involved in the Paris Agreement, policies have been set in place to address the issues of climate change due to greenhouse gas emissions, pollution, and energy usage. In order to improve the state of the environment, there needs to be a shift towards alternative energy solutions such as wind, water, and solar power. Scientists need to be better at communicating and persuading the non-scientists of the validity of their claims, and the current political climate is leading to a loss in support and funding for climate change. Not only should more regulations be implemented to address human-induced changes in climate, but there should also be more education and awareness campaigns about the benefits of critical ecosystem interactions, as well as the detrimental consequences that may arise as a result of species extinction and decreased biodiversity. Such change can only be brought on if scientists, policymakers, and the general public communicate more efficiently and agree on the implementation of these solutions throughout society.